Hello and welcome to Aligned Soul Tarot. I'm Victoria. I'm going to be pulling a card for each of the 12 zodiac signs today. I do like to pull for the collective, but I think it's just as important to break down the energies a bit and get a little more specific into each of the elements, each of the signs. We're going through some profound changes right now, and has a lot to do with the astrology aspects that we are going through. It is serving us. We are held, and we must always remember this. For my May monthly readings for each of the signs, I will be diving a little bit deeper into specifically the Saturn-Pluto conjunction that we have been passing through in 2019 and into this Pluto-Jupiter energy, a conjunction that we are facing now, and how it's connecting to each of the signs and what kind of guidance I can give you. So stay in tune for that. That will be up in the next coming weeks. Okay, but for now we're going to do a little pick-a-card reading for each of the signs. And we're going to start with Aries and we're going to work our way to Pisces. So what do we have for Aries? Calling on our guides to be here with us, our ancestors, our angels, and all high vibrational beings that wish to guide this pick-a-card. For Aries, what do we have for Aries? Okay, Aries. Of course, you and your fire energy. So, being in your element, of course. We have here the 8 of fire. This is not like your standard tarot. So I will be reading from the booklet that comes with these beautiful cards. And I will be reading the reversal as well, since it did pop up in reverse. So 8 of fire. Let's look here. What do we have for Aries? Okay, action, change, transformation, transmutation, rebirth, freedom. So this is all about transformation. And with that fire energy, you have the power to do so. The 8 of fire symbolizes transformation through action, change on a physical level that brings freedom and joy. Is it time to start a new job or quit one? Is it time to move house because the one you are living in restricts and hampers you? So a lot of these questions are coming up in taking action. And right now we are feeling that delay, feeling that moment of pause before we actually can take action. And this is probably why it's coming up in reverse. So with reverse, it's saying here, don't halt your own progress or hamper your growth at this time. Even if you may feel a bit lazy or even apathetic, be your own advocate rather than your own enemy, and challenge yourself if you find yourself unwilling to act. The 8 of fire reverse speaks to us when we are experiencing either lazy mind or body, and it serves as a reminder that there may well be consequences if necessary changes are not made, and that those consequences will be our own making. So one thing that I've been feeling into, I'm not an Aries, but one thing that I've been noticing for myself is that lack of movement right now. It's kind of making us feel stagnant, and we have to be very self-disciplined during this time. We have to find ways to inspire ourselves, even with all these challenges that we're facing with our daily routines, our daily lives. What we've known as the normal is not so normal anymore. So yes, you will experience moments of laziness where you just don't feel motivated, you don't feel inspired. It's hard to feel inspired by your own self, you know, depending on your circumstances and the people surrounding you. You know, sometimes we are motivated by action and being able to get out there and inspired by other people. But right now we're really having to halt some of those norms that we have with other people in our community. you know, whatever your career may be. So you can get a little in a funk, depressed, you know, feeling like unmotivated to do anything, but it's asking you to not be your own worst enemy. You know, we don't want to create these stories because this is temporary, right? We have to remember that time is not linear, and these energies that we're moving through are serving us for something bigger and better. And yes, we will have days where we fluctuate from this energy of like being productive and wanting to get things done, you know, being able to get things done. But right now we're kind of having to realign, reassess, okay, what can I do today? What little steps can I make towards my big goal? Because right now maybe I can't reach my big goal or get there because of other physical blockages that are happening. But not putting the blame on you, not feeling guilt or shame around it, and allowing yourself to just process this time and do what you can. That's what I'm getting for you, Aries. Do what you can. So now we're going to pull from my meditation book. We're going to see what Aries can do here. What can Aries do to get out of their own way and really allow themselves to stay on the bigger task at hand? You know, the procrastination that surrounds us sometimes right now, having to be our own boss, having to make our own schedules, not relying on other people or other things to move us right now, has to come from within, Aries. All right, what do we have for Aries? Happiness. Finding happiness within yourself. That's what's going to motivate you. Happiness arises spontaneously when we release our separateness and merge fully into the unconditional joy of the present moment. So being happy with the subtleties in this time, finding things that bring you joy and happiness that motivate you. So you don't stay too stagnant. You don't become your own worst enemy. So you can allow for some movement in your life. It might not be everything that you want, because we know Aries are the go-getters. They are the first of the zodiac. They have a lot of energy, a lot of power, you know, and this time can be challenging for you because you're feeling restricted. And Aries doesn't like to feel restricted. But the advice you're getting is to flow with it. Day by day, be practical with your actions and what you can do. And do it with gratitude. Do it with happiness. Be happy to experience this, because you'll probably realize things about yourself that you never knew. And it only leads to a deeper knowing of who you really are. All right, Aries. We're going to move on to Taurus. What do we have for Taurus? Angels and guides. What do we have for my lovely Taurians? You can also read, if you resonate more with your moon, your rising, your Venus, check out your birth chart to get a little more in-depth understanding. Because say you don't resonate with your sun, you might resonate more with your moon, considering moon is more emotions. It just kind of depends on what guidance you're looking for. So if you don't know, yes, go check out your birth chart. There's tons of free information online. As long as you have some little information about yourself, you can find that information for you. All right, Taurus. What do we have for Taurus? Taurus. All right, Taurus. We have here some water energy, beautiful water energy. Look at this beautiful dragon. Powerful. This is the one, the ace in Standard Tarot. So I'm feeling like there's some aha moments, some new ideas in this 3D realm. Maybe taking this time to slow down is really opening up your thoughts and what you want, and you're getting creative. I'm seeing a lot of creativity around this card. Because we all have to kind of get creative right now. Slow down a bit. Allow for that inner guide to shine through. New beginnings, goals, motivation, desires, preparations, opportunity, education. Maybe you're taking some online courses right now. Stick with that intuition. Furthering your education, reading. Maybe there's a book that you put on the back burner that you're finally able to pull out and read. Learn a couple new things. Practicality, starting anew, new financial or career opportunity. So Taurus, it looks like you are getting really creative right now. You're using this power of this Ace of Pentacles. Maybe you are starting your own new business, becoming an entrepreneur in some way. Maybe you are teaming up with someone else, and you're just feeling like this is it. This is for me right now, and you're feeling very grateful for this time to really be able to expand your knowledge and start something new. It's going to bring you abundance, because this is Earth, so it's very practical. It's very grounded. Also, you are very much in your Earth element right now. When the Ace of Earth appears in your reading, it represents a time of change and new beginnings on the career and home front. So maybe even just simply remodeling a space in your home, making your home feel more safe for you, making it feel like a place where you want to be. That's really important for a lot of us right now, is what are our ideas of home, and how can we better make our homes comfortable for us during these times. It's a time to make preparations and plans for the future, so that you are not challenged or placed under stress by the changes that are coming. So this is a perfect opportunity to plan. So even if you might not have that new opportunity yet, you are planning for it. You are building on it. Earth energy is also very slow and steady wins the race, right? So you're taking this time to really dive deep and think about what you need to do to fulfill yourself for your future. Beautiful. So let's pull an affirmation card for you. Meditation affirmation card to just sit with. What does Taurus need to sit with right now? What are the energies surrounding Taurus? Taurus, courage. This takes a lot of courage. You know, you are inspired by something, but it does take you some courage. You know, stepping out of the norm, feeling into the new. You know, there can be some fear around that. You know, when we are forced to change, we get shaken up a bit, you know, and we have to like readjust to the situation. Courage does not mean being fearless. It means being able to face your fears. So you don't want to just put on a mask, put on a face and pretend like, oh, I got this. Like, feel vulnerable, feel into it, face your fears, because that's when you really undo a lot of the blockages around abundance and around lack. What does that look like for you? And being able to adjust in these times. So take that leap of courage. Take that leap of faith. It's for you, Taurus. Let's move into Gemini. What do we have collective energies for Gemini? Gemini. Guides and angels. Provide a clear message for our Geminis. Oh, interesting. So far, every one of the zodiacs have been in their element, which is beautiful. It's showing me that people are in alignment. So this is air. Gemini is air. This is the 5 of air. Or no, 10 of air, sorry. 10 of air. So some level of completion in your life. With the eye, it's like the all-seeing. I see a lot with the crown, the third eye opening. This is very angelic, a lot of lighter colors, so I'm sensing like this, it's kind of like being divinely guided by this higher power, completing a cycle in your life. because the 10 is definitely about completion. So for my fellow Geminis, let's see what we have here. I'm going to read a little bit more for you. So individuation, self-actualization, liberation, altered perception, new paradigms, great mystery, potential, a time of independence. And I can definitely relate to this because this is very much a time for me. I've been sitting with myself, you know, having a lot of alone time to reflect. And it feels great to just sit with myself and be independent, because as Geminis, we are very twin-like. We're very dualistic. We're very mutable energies. And sometimes we like to get overconsumed by other people and their beliefs and their energy. And, you know, we can kind of learn how to chameleon ourselves into that. And that can be really great for being empathetic towards others, working as a team, especially for me as like a healer, doing therapy work, tarot work. It's really important for me to help and connect to others. But I also need that time to just be me, to sit with me, to feel my energies. What do I want, instead of always feeling into what others need, right? So this is a great time for independence. Say goodbye to the public persona. So some of the old ways of living, Gemini, you're having to readjust to that, you know, and really showing your true, authentic self, you know, letting that shine through. This is a time for all of us to kind of shed those layers of the ego and what made us comfortable in a material sense, and learning how to embrace the little things in life. You're no longer bound by other people's opinions of you. So this is just really stepping into your power, walking your own path, seeing and knowing your potential. It's like a lot about self-worth. And a lot of this has been given to you through this divine energy. Really being able to slow down. That's a big one for Gemini, slowing down. So right now, this time of just sitting with yourself and slowing down is really allowing you to see clearly who you are, and let who you are shine. Shine brightly, like this beautiful white light energy. That's beautiful. All right, so Geminis, for my Geminis, and this could be for your moon, Venus, your rising. Like I said, let it resonate how it will. If it doesn't resonate, it's not going to be for everyone. All right, service. Today I'll focus on service. As we open our hearts to others, service becomes the expression of our caring for all beings. So, walking your own path, being of service to yourself and others, not being afraid of other people's opinions of you, what you choose to do and how you choose to show up in the world and be of service is what you uniquely are imprinted with. Be yourself. Tune into who you are as an individual so you can show up for others. Because people like to see that authentic self. That person that is truly being themselves without the mask, without the title, you know, the money. It's all about the authentic self for Gemini. All right, we'll move into Cancer. My lovely Cancers. How are y'all feeling right now, Cancers? All in the feels? Feeling it? We're all feeling it. All right, Cancer. Cancer, what do we have for my watery Cancer friends? Cancer. Oh, there we go. Self. So this is kind of like, in this deck, they have the major and minor, but it's a little different. So this is a major arcana card, and it's self. Beautiful. Okay. Let's read a little bit about self. Maybe this will help you understand yourself just a little better. Let me find it here. 90. Okay. I am identity, self-realization, self-manifestation. Establish a unique and individual identity. So similar to air, finding yourself, right? But this is at a deeper understanding of self. When you get a major arcana, it's kind of like a big energy. It's maybe you're coming to the end of a cycle of self, shedding old layers of yourself. How has your past shaped you? Are you trying to fit with the wrong crowd? Know who you are. Who do you wish to become? So with this self card, it's really asking you to dive deep into yourself right now. And like I've said, all of us are doing this, but for Cancer, I think it's really allowing you to process your emotions that are coming up at this time, being able to identify with them, what's yours and what's not yours. That's another big thing for a lot of people that are very empathic. You tend to pick up on other people's energy. So really being able to decipher whose energy's whose, and learning how to release that and forgiving that. And there's tons of meditations. I post a lot on my Aligned Soul Tarot page for releasing and letting go and shedding other people's energies and really being able to connect to your own knowing, your own inner guidance system. Think for yourself right now. The self card is the 6 of the reasons for being. It signifies the importance of establishing a unique and an individual identity that is free of definitions and labels and embraces unlimited potential. Beautiful. All right, we're going to pull affirmation for Cancer. Cancer. What do we have for Cancer to feel into this self? For them to really get to know themselves. What can they focus on? Guides and angels, what can they focus on? It looks kind of watery. Compassion. Compassion is the passion that arises from the wish that all beings be free from suffering. Maybe you need to let go of some old suffering. Self-defeatist, the victimized mentality. Letting go of that and showing compassion to yourself is really important. Not beating yourself up about how you feel. And allowing yourself to really sit with those emotions and process them and realize, okay, is this my energy or is this someone else's that I'm picking up, and being compassionate towards others and what they're going through right now, because we are seeing a lot of different energies from our friends and families. Like, not everyone's going to look at this pandemic and what's going on the same. Some people look at it and they have, anger and resentment and fear. Some people look at it as an opportunity to grow, and some people are really having to struggle with their finances and, figure out how to support their families. Some people don't have kids. So we have to be compassionate towards everyone on their journey and what they're going through. And we have to understand that to each their own, right? And give them love. Right? Send them love. Sticking up for yourself, of course, in this time and what you believe, but also showing compassion to others and their beliefs. All right, that's what we got for you, Cancer. All right. Now we're going to feel into Leo. Leo, what do we have for Leo? The collective Leos out there. Let's see. Leo. The counselor. And it's showing up in reverse. All right, let's feel into this. Water energy. All right. The counselor. For my Leos. All right, Leos. If I can find the page for you. Empathetic, wise, objective advice, trustworthy, emotional understanding, clarity. It's a time of questions and mixed emotions for you, Leo. Look beyond the words to the emotions. So like I was saying with Cancer, we have to look beyond the words that are being projected out by others and really look at the deeper meaning below that surface. So I saw a lovely post the other day about this, and it, you know, people that are out there hoarding, or they're posting really angry posts online, or, you know, people just seem aggravated, or, you know, however that may show up, we have to understand that below that, it's just, they're scared, you know, that it's like their inner child is scared. They feel like the world's closing in on them. So coming from a place of counsel for those people, being able to support others through this time, that's big energy for you. When it is a potential blockage in a reverse, it's saying here, when the counselor of water appears reversed, she can signify a lack of empathy and understanding, or an unwillingness to listen and hear what's being said, where yours or another feelings are concerned. Are you being unsympathetic and rigid when compassion is needed? Are you allowing your feelings to get in the way of a resolution or forgiveness? Are you allowing your feelings to make you deaf and blind to another person's thoughts and feelings? Be receptive instead of rejecting. You don't have to agree, but at this time it is important that you listen. That is key right now. You don't have to agree, right? Just like with Cancer, you have to stand in your self-empowerment, right? You don't have to agree, but you can listen. And you can listen with an open heart. See beyond the words. See beyond the veil. You know, it's a great time for you to look deep within on how you can be of service to others, you know, because it's asking you to step into this place. And as a Leo, Leos have a lot of confidence to do so. Most Leos I know aren't afraid to speak up, and that's a beautiful thing, right? But we have to do that with an open heart and not be too opinionated, and we have to leave room for others to express themselves freely within comfort too. Of course, we need to feel where people energies don't vibe with us, and that's okay. But we don't want to react back. You know, it's like we're the mirror, right? We don't want to project back exactly the thing that we despise. So learning how to see and recognize when those projections are happening, and understanding how things trigger us within us, but not just deflecting it back, because it's like it doesn't really serve a purpose then. You know, we're not really learning the lesson when we do that. So let's pull a card for you, Leos. Leo, what can Leo do to really step into this counselor energy and open their hearts and understanding of others during this time? What can Leos do? Consideration. Yes, it's exactly the word. Consideration for yourself and others. Give special time and thought to your actions so that you may be more considerate of others' feelings and needs. This is exactly the same energy. It's just a double confirmation for you. So really being able to be considerate of others during this time, loving yourself, loving others, holding space as much as you can. When you do get angry or bitter or want to snap back at someone, you know, maybe their belief system is completely wrong, and many would agree, but, you know, learning when to just say enough is enough. I'm not going to continue fighting against a tide. I'm going to stay in my peace and be present with myself, and not keep fighting against someone else's belief system. You know, I'm gonna just sit with myself right now and be of service in any way I can, but I'm not going to fight against the tide, right? And I'm gonna be considerate for where everyone's at in their lives right now, and not try to force people to be who you want them to be. That's another thing. That never works. Trust me, I think I've learned the hard way with that one, and I understand. It can be hard when you see someone in pain and suffering, and you want to just help them. But you have to learn that it's not their place, and we all have the power of free will, right? We all have to understand that, and that can be really hard when we just want to help someone. You know, we feel like we have the inner tools to help someone else, but they need to want it for themselves. And at the end of the day, they need to be the ones doing that, reflecting and healing, right? We only can do so much for others. Be compassionate of their journey. All right, so now we're going to step into some Virgo energy. Virgo, our earthly friends, the Virgos. Are you cleaning like crazy, Virgos? I hate to generalize, but it can be really funny when we see all these funny memes. And I know Virgos can be a little OCD and germaphobe, at least some of the Virgos I know, but not all. I hate to be, judgmental like that, but I hope that you are doing as much as you can and not overextending yourself or worrying too much. Okay, so we have Earth energy for you, Virgo, and this is the 3 of Earth, and it's coming up in reverse. I'm going to show you the lovely picture here. It kind of looks like Pan. I don't know if you know Greek mythology, but that's what Pan looks like to me. He didn't have legs, though. I think he was half like horse or goat. So, 3 of Earth. Let's see here. This is for Virgos. Virgo. Let's see. 3 of Earth. Okay. Ambition, sowing seeds, groundwork, energy investment, sacrifice, fertility. Time to make preparations. So, as you can see, this man is planting seeds for the future. Planting seeds, preparation. Maybe you are working on a garden. A lot of people are starting to find ways to self-cultivate, self-preserve, so they don't have to rely so much on the system, because a lot of our systems are changing. We're looking at food and money and just all the big corporate systems that we rely on, trying to find ways to have some self-reliance, self-sustainability, planting seeds. Maybe you literally are planting seeds. It's beautiful if you do have the space to do so. It's definitely a blessing to have that space. Not everyone can do that, but if you are, that is beautiful, because you're giving to nature and you're giving to yourself as well. The 3 of Earth represents a time of preparation. It's a time to sow the seeds born of thought, need, and desire in fertile soil. It did come up in reverse, so I'm going to read a little bit about the reversed meaning here. So the reversed 3 of Earth asks that you be sure of your motives, as they will play a defining role in the outcome that manifests. For instance, if your goal to be successful and powerful is based on a need to feel you are a higher standing than others, you will quite likely be knocked from your pedestal. If your desire is to possess and control, you may well be met with loss and chaos instead. So not doing it from a place of ego, not doing it from a place of lack or fear, but doing it from a place of abundance. Be sure of your motives. And keep in mind that in all things you will reap what you sow. So making sure that the seeds you're planting are going to be fulfilling in the future for you and those around you, Virgo. All right. So another thing with the Virgo energy that is coming up with this reversal is they tend to be super focused, right? When they zone in on something, they zone in and they get it done. Virgos are really good at that, like that earthly energy with Taurus even. It's like slow and steady wins the race. They plant the seeds, they tend the seeds, it's like a daily practice, right? So right now, yes, that is important for you. You know, Virgos need that, you know, sense of schedule, finding a schedule for yourself. But one thing to be cautious of with the reverse meaning of this Earth card is becoming so focused on your goals that you forget to consider the emotional needs of those around you and give the appearance of being insensitive and unselfish. So yes, you're on a mission. You're planting seeds for your future, but making sure that you're in consideration of others that are surrounding you. You don't want to become insensitive or selfish in the making, because then you just push people away. Okay? So be mindful of that. It could also be someone around you. You know, if you were reading for a partner or a friend, you know, maybe this is your Virgo partner. Again, Aries had this. Focus on happiness. So doing it from a place of love, right? Not lack. Making sure that you're planting seeds that are going to bring you and others happiness, you know. And even if it doesn't necessarily make others happy, making sure that it doesn't make others resent you or, you know. And another thing when I think of that is like, yeah, other people have their feelings, right? And to each their own. I do truly believe that, you know, if someone else is going to project their feelings onto you, it's only something that they need to look at within themselves. So maybe this is something that you're being faced with right now. I'm having to be patient with that and explain yourself even. You know, if someone else is feeling some sort of feeling around what you're planting, what you're sowing in your life, actions that you're taking for yourself, making sure that you explain yourself and not be too rigid or closed off from others during this time, you know, and maybe doing it with a smile, maybe just showing a smile. We release our separateness and merge fully into unconditional love. So Virgo, it seems like you are kind of, you know, hermiting a little bit maybe, and that's okay. Like, all of this is okay. It's okay to be with yourself and hermit and kind of seclude yourself, you know, if that's what you need to do, which a lot of us need to do. But learning how to have a little bit of balance so people don't worry about you as well. Maybe it's just saying clearly that, you know, some people are worried, like, okay, what is my Virgo friend doing right now? I haven't heard from them in a month. Like, I hope they're okay. Like, don't close yourself off too much. Even if maybe in your own little zone, in your own little hermit bubble, you are like planning and plotting and growing and you feel like all these things are coming to you, but maybe your close ones, your family, your loved ones are a little concerned because they just want to hear from you. And opening up to them, you know, shedding a little positive news to them, just communicating with them. So that's what I got for you, Virgo. All right, now we're going to move into our lovely Scorpios. Did I get that right? Yes, Scorpio. Oh. No, it's Libra. Sorry, Libra. I don't want to skip over my Libras. See, the deck was like, nope, I'm going to stop you. I knew I forgot a sign there. Libra. Okay, Libra. Air energy for you. You're sitting pretty in your air energy. It did come up reverse, but we're going to go over that for you. Libra. This is the 5 of air. Look at that. Beautiful imagery. Taking the mask off. That's the first thing that comes to me. But let's read. Let's see what this has to share with us. The 5 of air for Libra. Okay. Illusion, reality, separation, self-sabotage, self-deception, criticism, One thing with Libras is they can be very critical on themselves. They're people pleasers. They like to please others. So in the making of that, like just like with Gemini, we sponge, you know, we get absorbed into other people's energies because we enjoy being around people in some ways, because it helps feed our air and relating to others. That's a beautiful gift that a lot of air signs have, but in that you have to learn how you can kind of lose sight of who you are, right? Unveiling this mask, letting go of any sort of idea of what other people think you are, conditioning, you know, some of the conditions that surround you in your role here on Earth. It could be a conflict between reality and belief. So right now the reality is, you know, I can't do my daily practices. My job might be changing. You know, food might not be so readily available for me. And understanding that my belief system is still holds strong, but I need to kind of adjust to the reality of what's going on around me. A time for being honest with yourself, letting go of illusion, face a painful reality. So yeah, a lot of us are having to face a painful reality right now. It's a wake-up call. It's a shake-up call. We're getting shaken, you know, and Libra wants balance. You strive for balance in all areas of your life, and right now it's really testing you, because everything that you've built up until this moment, the balance and structure of your daily life, it might not look the same right now. And learning to adjust and rebalance out those Libra scales, right? Facing the painful reality. You know, we do have to be practical during these times. And you know, we don't want to live in an illusion. We don't want to create a fantasy world around the realities of what's happening globally, because we don't want the world to be the same as it was. We want to open our mind to the idea that we can grow and expand through this, right? All right, for Libra. Libra, what do we got for Libra here? And please feel free to fast forward through this reading. You don't have to sit and listen to all of the signs, but if you feel called to do so, you can do that as well. Forgiveness. Forgiveness releases the past. It heals the pain so that you're free to dance and love again. So being very forgiving with yourself, you know, because a lot of truths might be becoming aware to you about who you are and the reality of where you are right now, and sitting with that and forgiving yourself of any sort of mistakes you think you made, or I should have better prepared myself, and beating yourself up about it, because you know, you are a people pleaser. You like to please others. You like to be in balance. You like to see both sides. You like to be agreeable. And right now it's telling you you need to forgive certain aspects of others and yourself, and know that you are right where you need to be right now in this present moment, okay? There's nothing that you could have done differently to better prepare you for this. You are where you are meant to be, and that is beautiful. Forgive yourself, Libra, forgive others. All right, now we're going into Scorpio. See, I wanted to get right into Scorpio, but there we go. Scorpio, the mother. It came up in reverse. So yeah, I'm noticing a lot of reversals, because I think that we are having to see a lot of our shadow selves, and reversals are not necessarily bad. Shadow self is not bad. We have to understand that we are integrating both aspects of ourselves, right? So I can definitely see why we're getting a lot of reversals, because this time is asking us to look at all of those shadow parts of us. Okay, The reversed mother can signal the presence of an aspect of self, our own self, or that of another, that is devouring and cruel and uses psychological or emotional manipulation to instill guilt in her child for not meeting her expectations. When her disappointment is used as a weapon and a means to control and bind her children to her, the natural process of individualization may be kept from occurring. Receiving this reverse card asks you to ask if you have fallen into a pattern of using emotional manipulation to control others. Is your hurt or disappointment genuine, or do you act in a deliberate manner to instill guilt and remorse in order to manipulate people? So the mother card, you could think of like a reverse the mother card. It's like, this is the Empress in the traditional tarot deck. It's like, it can also be like the overgiver, the mother that's constantly on their child about every little thing and, you know, kind of planning their life for them. It is a sense of manipulation. It's definitely manipulating someone to be what you want them to be. You don't want to control others, especially as a mother, and to their child. You want to allow them to be uniquely themselves. Of course, you want to guide them and help them see the truths of harm and what could potentially harm them in their lives. But a lot of the time, the hardest lessons are the ones that we learn when we face all those threats and we, you know, the rebel in us and a lot of the teenage years, we go through that. We live through experience, right? So the last thing we need is a controlling mother, because sometimes it just does the opposite. You know, they just want to rebel even more. This could even be a partnership. It doesn't have to be that you have a child. It could be that you are trying to make your partner or friends around you, maybe someone even in your career, do what you want them to do, and you're doing it in a very manipulative way. Okay, another aspect is the evidence by those who are willing to give their all and everything to others. These people seem consumed by a need to be needed and feel that it is their place and purpose to live, to fix every wrong and make everyone happy. So that's what I was saying earlier with like the overgiving mother. You know, give. It's like you're going to raise a child that does not know how to give for themselves or do anything for themselves. The over nurturer, right? That could also be this energy here. Do you have a tendency to give advice when it's not needed? Do you tend to force your opinion on others? So learning how to not be in that energy. Maybe this is someone around you. This could be someone that you're dealing with. Okay, let's reveal a little bit more about this mother reversed for Scorpio. Love. Okay, so at the end of the day, know that you are love. The trees and flowers are love. That your heart and mind unite in love, and that the universe is held in love. So when you get stuck in this controlling way, or someone around you is very controlling, manipulative, emotionally, mentally, physically, and sometimes you can even look at the overgiver. You know, they do come from a place of love. They really just truly love their partner, love their career, love their children. Whatever project you have right now, it's definitely coming from a place of love, but it's all about balance. I'm getting like, you know, we can't force the hand of love, especially on others. You know, just because we love them and we want to see them do good, you know, we have to let them be themselves and choose for themselves what they feel comfortable with doing, right? That's kind of what Libra had come up to. Allowing people to be themselves and walk their paths and not force your opinion onto others. Okay? All right. We have Sagittarius. What do we have for Sagittarius? Sag. Okay. Water energy. We have the 11 of water. Right? No, I'm reading it reversed again. The 9 of water. 9 of water. All right, and it did come up in reverse. So we will roll with that and we will read into it for you. This is for Sagittarius. Illumination, acceptance, openness. Open your heart. Past experiences leave an emotional imprint. Shine a light on the source of the emotional pain. Break the cycle. Remove the emotional hooks. Emotional enlightenment. This is what this is here. Emotional enlightenment. The process of becoming lighter. So when you're sitting upright, you're allowing this light to be received, this enlightenment, removing the blockages in your life. In reverse, there could be some stagnancy around it. This could be around a breakup. This could be around losing a job. The very first thing to be born in the darkness of the void was light. The Nine of Water represents a need to embrace an open heart and allow the light of love to transform and heal emotional pain. So with the water energy, this is definitely about a lot of emotional healing. So I'm getting more of a sense around relationships. Okay, the blockage is there's a resistance. There's an unwillingness to look at our emotional reactions and accept responsibility for them. Because we might feel scared, you know. Sagittarius is fire energy, you know. They're leaders. They stick with their beliefs, you know. And Sag, it's asking you to release the unwillingness to look at your own emotional reactions. You may not want to see the truth right now in this instance. We may truly agree with the old adage that ignorance is bliss. However, it is more than probable that we simply tell ourselves this because we're afraid of the pain of dredging up old memories. So there is this sense of resistance. You don't want to go there because it's so much. There's so much to process. There's so much to release. But you don't have to do it all at once. It's just an acknowledgement. Acknowledgement is one of the first steps. Acknowledging that there's something there, right? There's some sort of emotional pain that you've held on to for quite some time. And we learn how to bury it with work and our daily routines and our daily practices. We bury it and we bury it, we bury it. But guess what? It doesn't go anywhere. And it shows up in ways like pains in our bodies. You know, we might get headaches, we might get back pains. A lot of the time when people suppress emotion, it shows up in their back because it's kind of like you're putting it behind you. You're putting it on your back because you don't want to face it, right? So maybe that's something that you've been noticing. Maybe you're getting pains in your body and you're wondering why, you know, where is this pain coming from? It's because you're emotionally repressing all these feelings over time, and it's going to eventually show up in the physical world. And it also could just be a crumbling of a relationship, and you wonder, why is this happening to me? What's going on around it? It's because there's some emotional blockages there that you have to look at. And I'm not saying that's your fault. It could be just simply a childhood wound, you know, that you have to look into a little bit. And what better time than now to be still with yourself, sit with yourself, you know, and that can be very emotional, you know, especially for, you know, a Sag that's like working, has all these projects, you know, and all of a sudden all that's gone now, and it's like you're stripped away from your identity, your ego, and it's now all these emotional blockages are showing up and that you've been repressing. Okay, Sag. Focus on inner peace. So even though your inner world might seem a little turbulent right now, try to focus on inner peace, okay? Process what you can, right? You don't want to just go full force into it. If you feel called to do that, then go do that. But usually the best thing to do is to journal day by day, kind of write it out. You know, it's hard to see a therapist right now, but tarot is a great tool for kind of dissecting that inner world that we subconsciously kind of just put away and we don't face it in the conscious realms. So day by day, you know, take it slow, be easy with yourself, find some inner peace within all that emotional pain, and forgive those that have caused pain to you, and find a little bit of peace, maybe out in nature. Maybe you'll find yourself on a beautiful hike like this with mountains and a beautiful lake. you know, to kind of get away from a lot of the inner world and, you know, sit with yourself. Find beauty in the outside world. Okay, next we have Capricorn. Capricorn. Caps. What do we have for Capricorns? Capricorn. Okay. Beautiful. I've actually gotten this card quite a bit. So this is the 8 of water. 8 of water. And it was in reversed. So I will read both. 8 of water. Gratitude, appreciation, delight, joyfulness, happiness, a positive state of appreciation, the attitude of gratitude. So being grateful, the attitude of gratitude, I like that. Create a positive environment. So learning how to create positivity around you in your space and your surroundings, you know, to kind of balance out a lot of this fear and projection that's being cast out into this world. Be prideful but not boastful. Cherish what you have. If you are already unhappy, more will not make you happier. Okay, so Capricorns, they tend to be very practical, earthly, work a lot. You know, maybe right now your work schedule's changing a little bit. They find a lot of relief in being the doers. Getting things done, and right now you're having to maybe slow down a little bit. Doing more is not going to benefit you. Don't overexalt yourself, don't tire yourself out, you know, like with the Sag energy, it's like you almost want to block out some of that emotional stuff that's happening below the surface, so you end up just keep doing more and more, but that's only going to cause fatigue, you know, insomnia in some cases. It will show up. We might not notice it right away, but it will show up eventually. The universe always shows up in mysterious ways to help support us, bring us to our higher selves, higher understanding of ourselves, right? So a potential blockage that's saying from the book is, what about keeping up with the Joneses? If we do not appreciate what we have in our life now and are unable to see the abundance that surrounds us, why would our feelings change with more money, a new car, a house, or a relationship? Yes, the quality of our experiences might change, but if we take little joy from our present experiences, the joy of love of family and friends, we already enjoy, and the abundance that surrounds us, it is unlikely that our feelings will change just because our financial status allows us to do or buy more. So yeah, you want to get out of that ego mind of like, the more I do, the more I buy, the more I have, the happier I'll be, because that's not the case. You know, it can be temporarily, you know, but as a collective, we're being asked to step out of that way of being. You know, the Industrial Revolution, more is better, you know, let's build more, let's have more, like the shinier, nicer things, like it's all so temporary. And as a collective, we're really having to realign our priorities, right? Realigning your priorities around money, career, Capricorn. And that takes time. You know, this is a process. For all the signs, all of these messages, it's a process. You know, don't expect yourself to change overnight. Sometimes we do. Sometimes we just have like an aha moment and we're just like, wow, okay, now I get it. But a lot of the time it's a slow, steady process, especially for earth signs like yourself. Be considerate. Consideration came up again. Give special time and thought to your actions, okay? So whatever actions that you're doing, so that you may be more considerate of others' feelings and needs, okay? So this came up for Scorpio, I believe. You don't want to be a bulldozer, right? You don't want to bulldoze through life right now. Go do more, have more, you know, hoarding more. I don't have enough. It's like you face your fear of lack. You know, look at those aspects of yourself. Why are you so fearful around lack? Why do you feel like you need all these things to feel safe? You know, and uncover the deeper meaning behind that. Okay. So, Aquarius. Let's tap into some Aquarius energy. Guides and angels. Let's tap into Aquarius. What does Aquarius need to know? What does Aquarius need to see? Okay, here it is. This one. Death. Rebirth. Okay. Reversed again. Are all my cards reversed? No. Not all my cards are reversed, so you guys know. So, death, rebirth. Beautiful. So you're going through some sort of death cycle, but there might be some hesitancy since it was in reverse. It's like you're aware of what needs to die off. You're aware of what needs to come through, but you're still feeling a little vulnerable about letting it go and birthing this new idea, this new concept. Maybe you're in the planning phases. Maybe you're deciding, okay, do I really want to take this path? But it's there. And just like death and the Tower and the World card and the Standard Tarot, it's going to happen. You can delay it, right? You can put your blocks up and you can keep defending against something, but it's going to keep showing up again and again and again, especially people that are on a spiritual path. It's going to keep showing up because you were sent here for bigger and better things. And the universe knows that. Your higher self yearns for that. It's just we get caught up in the fear around change and letting go and letting things die off, and starting a new cycle. You know, it's just that fear again, right? Being scared, feeling vulnerable. I'm not ready for this, but you got to really step out of that and just allow for the universe to make these changes for you, because there's something bigger and better on the other end. And it's not easy. It's not easy. I understand completely. I've had a lot of walls that I built up. You know, I don't want to see things for what they are. And, you know, eventually it will hit you, you know, and the more that you fight against it, the harder it will be. So it's easier to learn the lessons and move forward. You know, sometimes we have to learn lessons multiple times, right? And that's okay too. Eventually you'll get it, right? Endings, beginnings, cycles, transformation, transmutation. Shed your skin. The dark night of the soul. A lot of us are experiencing that, you know, because we're going so inward. There's all this silence, so we're sitting with ourselves, and it's bringing up our shadows, aspects of ourselves that we might not be so comfortable with sharing with others. But now is the perfect time to heal those inner shadows. Allow innocence to be reborn. Focus on the short-term future. So that's a big one for everyone. And for you, short-term goals, right? What can I do now to get myself through this death rebirth process? What steps can I take? Be practical, be disciplined, but allow for it to be small, gradual steps. Do what you can do, right? Just even like, not even physically doing anything, but just knowing in your heart what needs to be done and processing all the emotions that come up around it. That's doing, you know, acceptance, acknowledgement, like I said earlier. When life changes suddenly, we can be forced by circumstances to stop and take a reality check. When the death rebirth card is reversed, it is time to take a long, hard look at your life and understand that it's time to let go. You can no longer live in a state of limbo. It is time to consider what is important and what is not. It is a time to end the dying process and be reborn. So maybe you've been going through this dying death process for a while now, and different situations, circumstances keep coming up in your life. And, you know, you're still learning the lesson. You weren't fully ready to let go. And now the universe is urging you to allow for that rebirth to come in, because you've learned your lesson. Maybe you still are learning it. Who knows? Only you know that. Okay, this card wanted to show itself twice. Healing. Beautiful. The healing journey is an awakening to ourselves by ourselves, a uniting of ourselves with who we really are. So this takes a lot of healing, right? To really step into that rebirth, right? Let go of all that karma. Stop replaying that death cycle, all those karmic lessons over and over and over. Your time is to heal. I recently had to do this. I noticed a lot of patterns in my life, synchronicities that weren't fulfilling me. And the last, several months, even before this pandemic, I've been healing. And, it's very painful at times, but you have to allow yourself to rejuvenate after, say, all these karmic lessons that you've learned. And, healing allows for that rebirth and new energy to come in, right? Because you don't want to repeat the same pattern again, right? So once you let go, you heal, and it allows for that new energy to come in for you. Beautiful. Okay, Aquarius. I hope you receive those messages well with an open heart. Okay. We have, last but not least, Pisces, my watery Pisces friends. You will be closing off this card reading, last but not least, right? For Pisces. Pisces, there we go. I'm going to take the top one here. Pisces. The 9 of Earth. And it came up in reversed. 9 of Earth. Okay, let's dive into it for Pisces. 9 of, sorry. I get confused with the Roman numerology. Yeah, it's a 9. 9 of air, or Earth. 9 of Earth, altruism, generosity, charity, giving, receiving. These are all very beautiful characteristics of a Pisces. They're all about the collective, their communities. They're very empathetic people. They're very giving, receiving, Most Pisces that I know, they're the 12th of the zodiac, so they can tap into the unconscious, the collective. It's, you go from 1 to 12, so you think about all the stages of each zodiac and what the lessons that they need to learn. And Pisces, it's really about really understanding and being empathetic to others. How can I give? How can I wrap this whole cycle up? They are like the wisest out of the zodiac. They tend to be, if they're sitting in their higher self, because they have learned the lessons through all the zodiac signs, and they are now graduated to the 12th. And they see things from a wider perspective. It's almost like they're looking down, and they have been able to tap into like the subconscious realms. And I see a picture here, the third eye. They're tapped into their third eye, being aware of the collective, and their own inner guide system too. So there's a lot of heal self by helping others. So I definitely experience this with tarot. Some of the messages that I give to others, I take in, and it just helps me, even in my psych major. I really was intrigued with psychology because I had a lot of healing to do. That's my purpose here on earth, is to heal, unlike a lot of others too. But, some people really feel called to help others, and it helps themselves understand, and getting rid of the skeletons in the closet, Pisces. And the charity begins with you. There's a lot of truth to the old adage that charity begins at home, yet so many people are willing to give to their families or a complete stranger a level of care and attention that they are unwilling to give to themselves. So yes, as healers, and someone that is very empathetic, you tend to give to others, but you have to remember to give to yourself. Charity begins at home. That's something that you should maybe write down, or something that you reflect upon when you're feeling, a little beat up, a little, you know, taken advantage of by other people because, you know, you just want to help others, right? But again, free will. People only meet you where they are at. So doing it from a place where you're not expecting anything in return, unconditional love. Do you speak kindly of yourself, or are you constantly criticizing what you perceive to be your flaws or weaknesses? Will you generously knit another person a sweater while you stand there shivering because you have not taken the time to knit one for yourself? Remember, if you do not look after yourself and treat others with the same compassion and consideration that you afford others, this neglect may very well take a physical toll on you. And how will you be able to look at others if your health has failed you? If you are feeling under the weather, take the time to rest and heal. Address your health concerns, even the minor ones. So Pisces, maybe you are so used to giving, being altruistic, your job, maybe you had this role where you felt like this is in my element, I'm able to give, but you know, now that you're out of that role, all these things are coming up and you're feeling like, who am I? My identity, what I was doing, how I was showing up. Like now I don't feel like myself. I feel like my identity's been stripped away from me. Like I have to give. Like how can I give? Like how can I give? And maybe the lesson in all this is, okay, maybe you need to give to yourself for once. Maybe you need to take the time to sit with yourself, heal yourself, you know. That doesn't have to just be bubble baths and chocolate, you know. It could really be like getting therapy for yourself. Maybe you were the therapist. Now you have to sit on the other end, right? So that's what I'm getting for you, Pisces. And we're going to pull an affirmation to support this energy for you, Pisces. And we're going to wrap up this reading. For all you that stuck with me, I hope you enjoyed these messages. And there will be more personal readings to come for each zodiac sign for May. And I will be doing different card pullings throughout the month and to come. So this will be one of many. And I will be changing it up. You know, they won't always look the same. So focus on change. Change is the very nature of life. When we resist change, we are resisting our own growth. So like I said earlier, maybe you are being pulled out of a job or a role that you had where you were giving, maybe it was some sort of nonprofit, charity, you know, and you felt like this is who you are, you get to express yourself. And with this change, you have to understand that this is only natural. This is all divinely guided. And it's only going to help you grow, help you heal, right? Stepping out of that role as just giver, and you need to learn how to receive. You got to stop resisting your own growth. That's what I'm getting for you, Pisces. All right, you all. Loving you so much. Wishing you all the best. And I will be seeing you soon. Have a lovely day.